your beloved country is free forever.
It led the way in 1957 when British rule came to an end here. The rest of the continent followed. These were the golden years for two football veterans. On tour in England in the 1950s, there was no paycheck and they played barefoot.
We didn't play in boots. We had no knowledge about playing in boots. We just played barefooted and we were playing good football.
The former stars have been following Ghana's progress at the World Cup. Now the torchbearers for the continent, the Black Stars fan club is growing by the day.
In South Africa today, every house, it is written, Ghana, we thank you for saving the whole continent. And I have heard a head of state saying we shouldn't call it the Black Stars, but the African Stars.
Well, it's worth keeping a close eye on these guys. They could well become some of the African stars of the future. This is a training academy run by the Dutch club Feyenoord, and the competition for places is tough.
Attack is ready now!
Each year, about 1,000 try, but just 15 or so make it here.
We score only with volley.
Aiming for a contract in Europe. But right now, they all dream of Ghana becoming world champions.
Just pray for them and thanks them for making Ghana proud. Not only Ghana, also for Africa.
Football is a national obsession, but as the Black Stars play for a place in the semi-final, all these games will come to a stop, and the continent will be hoping Ghana can once again make history. Will Ross, BBC News, Accra.
Well, to do that, of course, they have to beat Uruguay, described by some out here as a lightweight side. That, I suppose, is relative to some of the others, but my goodness, they've got a heavyweight pedigree behind them. We've got some archive pictures for you of Uruguay in what they would see as the good old days. This is a win against England in 1954 at the World Cup finals in Switzerland. They were world champions at the time. They've been world champions in 1930 as well. They've made two semi-finals, the last of those in 1970. But it's a side that tends to expect to be in the latter stages of every World Cup, even if it doesn't always work out quite like that. So how are they going to get on against Ghana? Against, after all, a country which here Nelson Mandela himself has said he's going to be supporting and is urging all of Africa to get behind as well. Let's have a word now with Farai Mungazi, who is in Northcliffe in Joburg. Farai, Mandela wants them to win. No pressure there then?
No pressure indeed, you can say that again, but I think it's an indication of how Africa views this game, because Africa has never been to the semi-finals of the World Cup. So everybody up and down the continent is expecting or is rooting for Ghana to make it, to do what Senegal and Cameroon could not do. But it's going to be a tough ask because they're facing a Uruguayan side which is, which has been very good in this World Cup. And the Black Stars, they know it, and nobody expected them to be in the quarterfinals. But when I spoke to their squad captain, Stephen Appiah, the other day, he said, look, anyone who was not expecting Ghana to be in the quarterfinals knows nothing about football.
Let me ask you, though, about the depth of the squad, Farai, because there are a couple of suspensions, a couple of niggly injuries which might yet come into play in the match. Do they have the depth that's required to maintain the sort of form and presence they've shown so far?
Yeah, I think the one that is confirmed is Dede Ayew. He is out through suspension and is replaced by Sule Muntari, who, of course, is a big name. At the back, Jonathan Mensah, he's out injured, but he's got a big replacement in Isaac Vossa, so that shouldn't be a problem. Whether Kevin Prince Boateng and Asamoah Gyan are at full throttle is another matter, but you would expect that they wouldn't be fielded if they're not feeling well.
Come on then, Farai, give us a result and a score.
I had a dream last night. I'm glad my dreams don't usually come true, but in the dream, Uruguay won 3-2.